Tighten the motor to the base. Secure the 12-inch tank to its base. Now the bases are loaded. Pop on the 6-way valve. Clamp it down. Adapters, gauges, hoses. We're installing AQUASTRONG's 2,500 gallon per hour sand filter pump with a 2,000 gallon system flow rate. It's for pools up to 9,000 gallons. This baby holds 50 pounds of sand or 1.5 pounds of filter balls. And it comes with 1.25 and 1.5 inch hose adapters. Compatible with Intex, Bestway, and all AGPs. It has a built-in automatic timer. Welcome to Eclectic Ideas. We're glad you're here. The Eclectic Ideas house is excited to unbox the AQUASTRONG 1/2 horsepower sand filter pump, model SFPV 120T, designed specifically for above-ground pools up to 9,000 gallons. Here's the AQUASTRONG product registration offering 1-year warranty and 1 free replacement. Now, if you've got no clue how to do this, relax. We're going to show you. Here's our SandFilter tank base. It feels like a solid, durable plastic. I'll set it aside. And here's the 12-inch SandFilter tank that holds up to 50 pounds of sand or 1.5 pounds of filter balls and sounds super durable. This little spigot is the drain valve. Now on a hot summer day, don't confuse this for the sweet tea tap, okay y'all? The drain valve is already attached. This is the sand filter connecting hose, and these dark gray flanges came attached on it. And out of the magician's hat, we pull the center or standpipe that runs vertically through the filter tank with the min and max lines marked. Rumor has it that we fill the sand or filter balls right between these two lines. The black lateral connects to the bottom of the standpipe. Like a colander, it lets water in but keeps the filter media from escaping. Let's stash them so we can find them like magic. And here we have the pump base. A handy sticker tells us pull the pump base slider to align with the white dots on the base edge. We're down to the nuts, bolts, and washers. They'll tighten to hold the motor in place. It's not a steering wheel. This sand shield keeps sand and filter balls out of the center pipe hub. Just when you least expect it, the multi-port 6-way valve shows up. It fits on top of the sand filter tank, and let's look at it up close and personal. It has multiple settings: filter, waste, winter, closed, backwash, recirculate, and rinse to handle all the maintenance tasks. And would you look at all these inlets and outlets? This looks like the space where we connect the air bleeder cap or the pressure gauge, but we'll figure all that out together as we go. It looks a little daunting to us as well. The next goodie box are our sand filter pump accessories. We've got the Teflon tape. Here's a teensy tiny box, and it's not jewelry. Nope. It's a pressure gauge. And we've got the 1 1/2 inch filter hose converters. This takes it bigger to smaller or smaller to larger hoses. Here's the O-ring that sits between the sand filter tank and the 6-way valve. These are the hose clamps. And this is exactly what we're wanting right here. We want this because our Bestway pool has a smaller hose, and the fitting on the pump is larger. And we have 3 adapters, and this tank clamp goes on the neck of the sand filter tank. The view window lets you see the water clarity during the backwash. When the water runs clear, you're done. And last but not least, the 1/2 horsepower pool pump arrives. Model PSP 050T-PU. And it comes with its own swimming pool pump user manual. When you're done with this, you're going to have 3 manuals. Some Teflon tape. All these tapes help seal the hoses. Let's get this swimming pool pump out and give it a good look over. We've got a grounding wire. And here's the filter basket. Here's the automatic timer. And here's a close-up of the very short 6-foot extension cord. This is the pool pump cover. It's going to go right on top of here like this. You can see the basket through it. We're leaving it in the plastic bag so we don't lose it. I warned you, you'd get 3 user manuals: the quick installation guide, the owner's manual, and the swimming pump guide. To us, it looked like the most complete one was the owner's manual. It outlines everything. Right here is the assembly breakdown, so you don't have to worry too much about that. It goes through it. And then on the next page, we have all the parts listed so that you can be sure you have all the right components with you and what they're called. Now, don't panic. Remain calm when you realize that some of these small parts, you're not seeing them because most of them already are attached on the other parts of the, pool pump stuff. So they're there. Just keep looking. And then you find step 1, and you can start right here. We let everything out, and we have all the parts. And since it was raining outside, we just brought everything into the table, and we're going to put it together here. Be prepared before step 1 with a wrench and a Phillips head screwdriver. You'll specifically need it for this last part where you tighten this tank clamp around the neck of the tank. The other thing you'll need is when you need to tighten these clamps for the pump base. You're going to need to take this off, and you'll just get this adjustable wrench around it, and then you can tighten or loosen it at will. Here's the pump, and it wants you to put this pump cover on top. After you get the pump cover in place, you have to twist it, and it's pretty hard to do. It's not easy, so be prepared for that. It takes a power grip to get it on. Once you get that stubborn little guy on, we have the air bleeder cap right here. It lets the trapped air out of the system when you start it. Open this cap to prime the pump. Now this whole thing is the pump body, and this is the inlet right here. So in our Best Way pool, this will be the B side, where the unfiltered water is sucked out of the pool into this filter basket. Up here on top, this is the outlet. So all that nice, clean, filtered water comes out from here and is going to return back into the pool through the pool jet. Here's the automatic timer command center right here. This corrugated looking blue part is the motor. This is the base. We put this tablecloth on to protect the table, but it keeps slipping, so we're just going to push that out of the way. We hope we don't scratch the table. The next step is to get our base ready to accept the tank. And so underneath here is a tray, and we're going to just slide that tray out until you see the white dots right there. And that says you've pulled it out enough to actually ensure that the filter tank base will sit on it. We're going to take these nuts and their little washers off, one washer only with each one. So leave one washer on each screw. There we go, just like that. Now that we've got this platform extended and one washer on each screw, we're going to go ahead and we're going to notice this track right here and those two little holes. We're going to go ahead and sit this onto the two screws. And now let's turn it around this way so you can see well that we need to bolt each side down. Let's take one washer and put it over each screw, one here, and put the nut on top. And we're going to just twist it very carefully right there. And now that that's in place, we'll tighten the other side down, and our motor is attached to the motor base. We can go ahead and take that adjustable wrench now and give it a little extra tightening just to be sure it's nice and secure. And with that, you've got the motor attached to the pump base. Now let's get our SandFilter tank base attached to our pump motor base. These two alignment pegs are going to mount onto the motor base. They're going to fit in, and right here is a little rounded channel, and that's going to fit right in here just like that. Just going to snap in. Now if you want to, there's pre-drilled holes right here to where you can actually mount it on another base. But we're just assembling right now. We're not drilling down, and we're certainly not going to drill it to this table. Let's grab the SandFilter tank. And before we go any further, let's admire its drain valve here on the front. This will let water out of the tank, so you want to be sure that's tight. And it has a little notch to fit in right there, and that one has a little foot right there. That foot's going to go in next to the motor, and the little valve is going to go right there in its notch. See how its little foot is westing right there? That's what we want. Come full circle back to the center pipe hub, and we want to be sure that no sand or filter balls go in that pipe. And it needs to be very even. So that's what this sand filter shield does. It's like a little superhero that goes over the top and guards the center pipe hub from getting any sand or filter media in it. And now around this, we can go ahead and put in our sand or our filter balls. And then once you've loaded that, we remove that sand filter cap. It's always a good idea to check for any leaks now that it's assembled before we add any sand, because once we add the sand, it'll be really hard to get all that out. While the sand shield aligns that center pole, we also need to take it off now in order to go ahead and put our O-ring around here, just like that. And that's that little O-ring gasket. It's going to keep the water from leaking. Let's set the 6-way valve on top. We've got our gasket in place, and you can choose from filter, waste, winter, closed, backwash, recirculate, and rinse. So you can just really get all that done from here. It kind of looks like a fire hydrant at this point, but this little opening on the bottom is going to go right in here, just like that. But we had this issue that arose where no matter what we did, it just wasn't going in properly. And we figured out that it was brand new and it didn't have a lot of grease. And there's a little rubber washer there too that was kind of stopping it. So we just put I think we put some Vaseline on it, just something very simple. And then we're going to go ahead, and now that we've done that, it just slides in easily. So now that we turned it upside down for demonstration purposes, let's pop this back out. And we'll put the center pole back in here. And then this will go on it. Now once you get it in here, we're going to show you how to align it so that it goes properly with the hoses. When you get this seated, you want to make sure that the alignment is such that it says PUMP, pump, right here. The pump needs to align with the water jet or the water hose right here on the top. And here is our sand tank clamp, and we're going to put that on now that it's aligned. We took the screw out, And now we're going to go ahead and notice how it just slides over it like a little collar or something. And that screw's going to go in right here. And just keep tightening until that gap in between closes up tightly. And this is how that collar looks tightened. On these, one side has a smaller fitting, and it has a gasket, so that when you put it in, it fits properly. And on the other side, it has a larger gasket, and it just fits in all snug, just like this. Now, all these little fittings, we take this tape, and we would just wrap it around those threaded fittings so that it actually stays more securely fastened. And then you just wrap it and put it right in there, just like that. The gasket is there. Now we're going to take this and we're going to just fit it right here. And this flange is going to come down and we're just going to tighten that up. And so that pipe is now securely attached. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach this to the pump. Just twist that flange over until it's secure. We are cautioned not to swim in the water while the pump is running or while you're doing service on it. And we've got our view window and it's going to go right here with a washer. Just push that washer right in there. And now we've got a little peephole and you can see the clarity of the water right here when you backwash. When it runs clear, this is what we were talking about earlier. When it runs clear, you're done backwashing. Here's our pressure gauge. Again, we would want to take some of this tape and twist it around the threads on that pressure gauge attachment, and we'll do that later, but not right now. And then when you're done with it, we want to take out this stopper and be sure you keep up with it because you'll probably need it later. And just twist your pressure gauge in right here, and then you can always check and see how high your pressure is. These are your hose adapters, and these allow the hoses to connect to the pool. Now, the great thing about this is that they're in two different sizes, depending on your pool size. Ours is the smaller one. It's the 1.25, and the bigger one is 1.5 inches. If you notice, let's turn this around and see the 1.25 will fit right here at that point. See where it stops? Now, if you want it on the other side, the 1.5 goes all the way up to the neck, all the way to the edge of that. This is the intake where the water comes out of the intake valve of the pool and goes into the filter. And we're going to twist that on. All of these adapters have washers. Let's get this one twisted in securely. And this is where the water goes in the pool. And now we need to turn around ever so slightly so you can see where we backwash. All the water will actually come out from here. Let's get the adapter aligned and attached. Once it's tightened in place, we can go ahead and put that 1.25 on it. We're going to need to go ahead and put the clamp on it, and these are screw-down clamps. So we got 3 of them, and so one's going to go right here. We're going to put it on the thing like a sleeve first, and then slide it over the adapter. And this is where your plain screwdriver will help you go ahead and get that screwed in, and it'll keep it nice and tight. This unit has a 6-foot cord. It's recommended to use a GFCI outlet, and check with an electrician if your outlet's too far away. Here it is assembled, and we'll do the install in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.